Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Free Gift Friday, where we bring you something for free on Fridays related to streamlining and optimizing your business. My name is Melanie McSally. I am your profit optimization and technology expert. I'm also the CEO and founder of Wise Tribe, where we are a team of tech strategists and experts. Our mission is to help millions of entrepreneurs and small business owners live that coveted life of freedom by making technology accessible, removing the three big barriers of time, knowledge, and money. Yeah. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I can call it a number of different things. Building your own research team for free. Also, privacy, and also using Google to your advantage, right? Like having Google work for you. So, what we're going to talk about today is kind of like reverse NLP, right? So you've experienced it, you've heard other people say it. Dang, I was talking about X the other day and bam, it started showing up on my Facebook feed. Or Google started advertising to me on that thing, right? We were talking about red stilettos, and now my phone is just filled with red stilettos everywhere, on Facebook, on Google, everywhere. Instagram. How does that happen? One, how can you prevent it? Two, how can you use it to your advantage? And three, how does this relate to business? Okay, so first, I'm going to teach you how to prevent this from happening if you actually don't want it to happen. Two, how you can use it to your advantage. And three, we'll bring it all back and talk to you about how this relates to you streamlining and optimizing your business. Sorry, I am in Florida today and it is hot, so I have a fan which is blowing on me and it's making my hair go in my face. You probably can't see it, but it's quite annoying to me. Okay, so first, on your phone, what you want to do, and you'll do this on all of your devices, and I apologize, but this is geared towards Apple because all of my devices are Apple, so you can Google how to do this on your Android device. All right, so first things first, on your phone, I want you to go to Settings. Now, a quick, easy tip, if you're one of those people that has a bazillion icons and you can never find anything on your phone, if you take your phone, it's a little hard with the sun here, but oops, sorry. Let's make that go away. Jesus, life of a software engineer is demo mode. So you take your phone and you select, you tap somewhere towards the top, and then you pull down. Right? So here we go. So you tap somewhere near the top, you pull down, oops, and then you get a little search bar at the top. Then you can search for your app. So we'll just do Settings. And as you can see, the Settings app is right here, right? So then I can just click it. So if you're one of those people who can never find the app you're looking for, the search menu is your friend. Okay, so now we're in the search menu. We're going to scroll down to privacy. The icon looks like this with a little blue background. So we're going to hit privacy. So we're in the privacy window of our iPhone. And you can see here it says contacts, calendar, reminder, photo, yada, yada, yada. These are all the things that Apple has figured that you want to keep private. Your contact list, your calendar, the photos on your phone, what you say, like the talking that you're going to do, as well as where your geolocation and things like that. So anytime somebody creates an app, they have to ask for your permission to utilize any one of these particular features. So as they're developing, if they say need to know what your geolocation is, then you have to give them the rights to do that. Now, doing that is kind of like checking off the agreements policy in terms and conditions. So a lot of people will just say yes, 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 and they won't actually pay any attention to what they're saying yes to. So I recommend that you periodically go into this. Again, we came here through settings and clicked privacy, and then you're going to click into each one of these areas. So let's say contacts, right? We see it all the time. Notices come out from somebody. I was recently hacked on Facebook. All these messages are not coming from me, right? Or somebody sends you a text message, ignore all text messages from me, my phone got hacked, and these messages are not from me. So contacts is something that we generally want to keep private, and so you only want to give those apps that you're going to befriend somebody and you want them to look at your contact list in order to tell you who else is using that app, right? So those are the only kinds of applications that you're likely going to grant this permission to. Now, some apps, and this is kind of more of a legacy thing, I don't know that Apple still lets people do this, but some of them will require all permissions in order for you to proceed. So what you could do is you could click yes, but then you can come into this privacy and deselect the ones that you no longer want to grant access. So if I click into contacts, you'll see on my phone here that there is a list of apps that have requested my permission to have access to my contact list. And as you can see, none of them are green over here, which means that none of them actually have access to my contacts. Now, WhatsApp. WhatsApp could be a perfect example of one that I would want to grant access to, because as I'm adding new contacts, I want WhatsApp to recognize those names and phone numbers. So that's a legit one. I will say yes to that. All right, so let's leave that. Now, here is the one that gets everybody. The reason why Red Stilettos is showing up everywhere on your devices, it's the microphone. So if you click into the microphone, you'll notice a lot of apps that have requested permission to utilize your microphone. Now, contrary to people's beliefs, there isn't some mass factory somewhere with little minions watching and listening to your every move. No, but there are a bunch of Watsons out there listening to your every move. And what they're doing, they're not actually looking for precisely what you're saying or what you're doing, but they're looking for keywords, right? Obviously, there's a group of them that are looking for, who are the terrorists and who are doing bad things in the world. But mainly what these companies are looking for is, what are your interests? What do you like to do? Because they're trying to make your experience better. Believe it or not, most of these things, there are bad people in the world, but most companies are using this information so that they can build better products and services for you and target you in a way that is more focused on what you want. So, as a man who doesn't wear stilettos, most companies are going to realize that you don't want that in your feed, right? So these companies are looking for, well, how can we make the experience better for you? Now, some of them are actually voice recognition. It's part of a feature of the software tool. So for instance, I'm learning French. And so Duolingo, I have it turned on to green because I use the microphone all the time, right? Shazam is another one. I use it to find music, but it needs the microphone for that. What's another one? A lot of them where you're driving, right? So voice to text for driving, need the microphone for that. So there are some legit reasons why businesses might want to use the microphone. It might actually map to a feature of the system, but you'll know that when you're using the system. The rest are looking for geo advertising, meaning they want, or target advertising. Geo advertising is based on your location, but this is looking for, what are your interests? What do you care about? How can we target you in innovative ways that relates to what you're trying to do? So that is why you get advertisements for what you just spoke about. So another one, let's see, any other big ones in here? Those are the two main ones. Calendar obviously is something you want to keep on privacy. Okay, so location services. This is another big one. So I recently traveled the country. I went from Florida to Texas, out to Colorado, and then back to Florida again. And I stopped in Texas as well as in Colorado to visit with some clients and some friends. And because I spent a prolonged period of time in each of these states, and because I recently moved, both of these states, as well as Florida, I'm from Massachusetts, so all three of these states were trying to get me to register to vote in that state. And so it was pretty interesting because I was getting text messages that says, oh, you're in Florida, oh, you're in Texas, oh, you're in Colorado. Have you registered to vote? Have you changed your address? And so I thought that was pretty interesting. And so anyway, you're going to want to periodically go through this list. It's quite a long one. If you have a lot of apps on your phone, and specify whether you want them to use to have access all the time, just when you're actually using the app, or none of the time. So anyway, that is how you can remove people knowing things about you that you haven't specified that you want them to know about you. Another thing to note is that apps utilize cell service as well as Wi-Fi service. And so you can specify that if you go back out to privacy, you can specify, if you go to Wi-Fi, I have to turn mine on, you can specify which apps have access, it's cellular, which apps have access to your cellular versus Wi-Fi. So if you do not, I have unlimited data, so almost all of my apps have access to my cellular, but if you do not have unlimited data, you can turn apps off so that they are not utilizing your cellular, and they will only be available when you have access to Wi-Fi. Now you can also just do this globally by turning off your entire cellular. So I bring this up for two reasons. One is if you don't have unlimited, this can save you money on your cell phone bill. But also if you're traveling internationally and you're utilizing any kind of plan that is not unlimited, because most plans when you go international do not have unlimited anymore. And so when you go international, you might still want to use text messaging and cellular for voice, and not necessarily for all the apps. And so this will allow you to go into that section and turn all the apps off, but leave the main global cellular on. if you're going to use a international package. Okay, so how can you use this for your advantage? We talked about how you can remove it if you don't want it. So how can you utilize it for your advantage? How can you have your own personal research team that is free? How can you utilize Facebook and Google, make them work for you? And so we're going to go over that now. Okay, so in Facebook, you receive ads, right? It's just a part of the being on the platform. So you see these ads. Now, if you see an ad that you like and you click on it, then you've engaged with it, which tells Facebook that you're interested in those kinds of ads. So, my Facebook feed of ads are really all business related. They have absolutely nothing to do with shopping for my favorite clothes or anything personal in nature, because I generally don't search for those things or don't click through those things on Facebook. But what I do is when I'm interested in learning more about something, I will click through to it, right? So I'll click on it. It'll bring up a little screen inside Facebook that I could read, but I don't actually read it. What I do is I say open in Safari, and just the fact that it's open in my Safari tells Facebook that I'm interested, that I care about this ad, and that will tell me related, it will start to give me related ads to that topic. So if you see my Safari and I go to open new pages, can you see all these open? Which way should we go? This way. These are all the open pages in my Safari. There's a lot of them. I don't know quite how many there are, but there's a lot of them because I haven't done the transfer yet. So recently I saw an ad for automating sales copy. Okay. Now I get a lot of people who ask me to write their sales copy for them, and that's not my lane of genius, but automating it is. And we like to say all the time that when we solve a problem for our clients, we also create new problems for them. So if I've automated the delivery of sales copy, it's only as effective as whether or not they have the sales copy, right? And that's not my lane of genius. Now, I help them with it because I'm in business and I sell, but it's really not my lane of genius. This happens every single time. Every time I'm on video, they are mowing the lawn outside. And I could be on video every single day of the week, and they will still always be mowing the lawn outside. So I apologize for that. But anyway, moving right along. So I clicked on it. I opened it in my Safari. Next day, I am just blasted with all the different versions of different people selling automated sales copy. I click on a few different ones and I open them all in my Safari. Now generally what I usually do is I get to like 4 or 5 or 6. I choose like different business types, different styles, different brands, because how men deliver versus women deliver versus people who have a feminine brand or a male brand, like in quote unquotes, like the stereotypical characteristics of male branding versus feminine branding, or somewhere in between, or non-gender specific. So I'll click on all the different kinds to get like a diversity, and then I will Bluetooth them to my computer. So my Apple devices talk to each other, and so if I open something on my phone, it will pop up on my computer, and my computer will say, do you want to open it here? And I say yes. Now you can go one step further and you can just sync the two all together, but then I would have a bazillion tabs open on my computer, so I don't actually go that step, but it is possible you can sync your Chromes or Firefoxes or Safaris, or I don't know if you can do it with IE, because again, I'm not a Windows person. So then I send those links off to my VA and I say, compare these, tell me which one's the best, rank them 1 to however many I have. And they do that for me. And they give me like generally I have a template, like tell me what it is, tell me why I need it, tell me who the competitors are, so on and so forth. And so I do this in many different genres, but mostly I do it in things that come across my desk as brand new. Oh, I hadn't seen that before, or that's new to me, things like that. Now, some things I go directly to my research team, but this is things like, get some copy for $27 or get your social media calendar for $27. These are like inexpensive things that we can provide as a low barrier to entry and automate, and who can we use as an affiliate or market with, or take ideas from and grow something bigger, better. So anyway, so that's how you actually get your Facebook to start working for you. The same will be true for your Google. Anytime you have something open in your Safari, you're telling the other things that this is your search history, that these are things you care about, and so you'll start getting results in your feeds, and you can manipulate the system by clicking through on things that you want more advertising on, so that the research is coming to you rather than you going out and doing it. So this is how you can create your little minions for free, your little tech minions. Okay, so the other thing about Safari, so if you want to actually be able to search for something and you don't want everybody to know about it, you don't want Facebook or Google to then give you results based on that search. So I use this feature when I have a client who I have to do research for, but I don't want my whole feed to end up as these results. And this was funny. In college, I took this class called New Product Development, and we had to take a pre-existing product and make it better. And my team took the breast pump. And so for months, my feeds were just filled with everything related to breastfeeding, lactation, so on and so forth. And so I quickly learned how to do searches that do not result in everybody knowing your business. So there is this browser called DuckDuckGo, just like DuckDuckGo. So DuckDuckGo, you can install it as your default browser in any on any device, and the searches are automatically private. Now you can set your Chrome and your Safari and what have you to private, but DuckDuckGo, it defaults to private. So what I generally do is when I want to search for something that I don't want everybody to know about, I use DuckDuckGo, but my default is Chrome and Safari based on device. And so when I'm clicking through on Facebook, it's going to go to Safari, and on my computer, it's going to go to Chrome. And then when I intentionally don't want somebody to know about something, I use DuckDuckGo. So again, that brings us back to how do you keep your privacy if you really want it. So let's bring this all back to business and how you can utilize this to streamline and optimize. Well, hopefully I gave you a little bit about that by creating your own free team of researchers. But also, just like when you're on Facebook, when you're on Instagram, you're on it anyway, right? So you're either on there for social or you're on there for business, but you're on it anyway. So if you gear the ads towards things that you actually need in your business, and it doesn't take long to get those ads to switch over to something new. I do this all the time. Like right now, I'm learning about automating content. So I'm getting all sorts of social media, sales, marketing, so on and so forth. But previously, I was doing videos, automating videos. So I got a lot of Toonly and Doodle and all the different how to automate editing videos, how to automate creating videos, how to automate elevating videos. I got a lot of that. And so you can switch over your feed pretty quickly. All you have to do is show interest. And if you show the same interest repeatedly, then you will change your own feed. So it's kind of similar to life, right? If you eat different foods, you get different results. If you talk differently to yourself, you get different results. It's the same thing on advertising. If you search for things that are different, you get different results. And so you can really utilize this to go out and do some work for you that you either don't have the time to do or aren't ready to do yet, right? And so that's how you can, start to gain momentum. It's also a way you can actually force yourself to do different things and get different results. So let's say you're in a slump. Let's say that your mindset isn't fantastic, right? And that's pretty easy to get into that situation because there's so much negativity in our world, right? Well, if you start to search for things like upliftment quotes or positive thoughts or making a difference, if you start to search for things that produce positivity in your world, then you're going to start to get bombarded with advertisements around positivity. And you're going to actually, the friends in your network that are posting positive messages will start to appear more in your feed. Because not only is advertising, is the algorithm behind advertising related to what you're doing, but so is what shows up in your feed from your own network. So you might have thousands and thousands of friends, but you actually don't see posts from every single one of them every single day. You see posts from your friends that is related to what's going on in your world, to what you've expressed that you care about through your own actions. And so if you change your actions, you will start to see different results in your feed, both in whose post you see as well as in what advertising you see. So again, that can help you if you're sort of in a slump and you need to get out, but you're not quite sure how, or, and I'm not saying like if you need professional help, you should get professional help, but I'm saying how can you use technology to help sort of give you a little nudge in a direction. And if you're really in a slump, definitely get professional help because, what comes across your feed is not generally going to be enough. Right? So these are just like little nudges you can take in order to get different results. So that was a lot. This is a longer video than I normally do. So hopefully you found this interesting and enlightening and helpful. And if so, I would really ask you if you would subscribe, because anytime somebody subscribes, that gives me a little motivation to keep going and keep providing these free tips and tricks to you. So I always love a subscribe. It just makes me feel good inside, and you're helping me out. You're helping also bring awareness to my channel, which will mean that it will reach more people, which means that I can help more people. So this will always be for free, and I would just ask that if you found it valuable that you hit the subscribe. Now, if you want to go a step further, you want to know when I release another episode of Free Gift Friday, then please just hit the bell below. All right, so once again, this has been an episode of Free Gift Friday, where we brought you tips and tricks on how to have your own research team, how to make Google and Facebook work for you, how to be a little bit more private if you want to be, and how you can streamline and optimize your business by making technology work for you. Once again, my name is Melanie McSally, and I am your tech expert and your profit optimization expert. Sorry, it's been a long day. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you next Friday for another episode of Free Gift Friday. Ciao, y'all.